just turn on your video to let me verify the person itself. So everyone is the person that you are logging with. So this is a safety precaution over here. So can I get everyone to on the video? Okay, let me just check in. You are there and you are the one who actually logged in.
Okay.
Hi, Raining. I'm Auni, Jaslyn. Okay, Ismail. Hi, everyone. Kushari. Hi, Roshan. Okay, a few more. Iqbal. Hi, Iqbal. And okay, Shanice, Jervin, and Honey. Okay, Honey. Check your face. All right, I really see your fan. Okay, I think Shanice is the one that has a problem with the video. Jervin, can I just take a look your just on the video itself? Okay, while waiting for the video to be on for the other students, just prepare the worksheet that I've given you. So I will be going through, this is our very last lesson for this set language. So we want to make sure that we are going to try some slightly harder question, okay, because we want to cater for different spectrum. Okay, so those who are still getting to know the topic, plus those students already quite okay and actually want to try harder question. Okay, Shanice got that. Okay, thanks for informing. I'm waiting for Jervin to on the video. Can someone help me to remind Jervin to on the video if he maybe didn't hear my instruction? Okay, so today we're going to go through slightly harder questions plus the quiz results. Okay, quite a number of people make a mistake, so it's common because it's the very first time I get you all to submit the official working. So there's quite a bit of careless mistake there. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to start from there. Okay, so once again, during the lesson, I will be occasionally asking some questions. So please reply if you're okay on the mic and speak up. If not, you are too shy, you can just type through the chat function or even our Maths group chat. Okay, so once again, welcome Iqbal and Roshan. Okay, the two gentlemen will be joining us for the class. Okay, from now onwards lah. Okay, so Iqbal and Roshan, because it's our first lesson here, so we try to follow as much as possible. Okay, Iqbal, I've sent you the SLS assignment, so you try to log in there and try to do the assignment there. There's some videos to guide you also. Okay, okay. So with that, without further ado, I'm going to start sharing my screen to start our lesson proper. Okay. 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 So I hope that everyone can see my screen over here. Okay, we'll start off with the homework question over here. This is the first thing that I mentioned in my group chat. So I will be going through these few questions. Okay, I'm the one who set the WA paper. So we are having WA in week 7 or week 8. Okay, so just a few more weeks to go. Then we are supposed to cover both set language and similar triangle and congruency. Okay, so we are really there's only short period of time to prepare for that. So we're going to go through that today. Okay, so these are the questions that we're going to go through. Okay, so prepare your notes and prepare your to copy down if you need to and try to understand. I'll start with question 7 first. Okay, question 7, I will use a post-it. Okay, to write the answer over here. Okay, so maybe I'll expand this way, maybe bigger. Okay, so first up, okay, question number 7. Okay, 7, this is a universal set is a natural number less than 12, and x is an even number. So natural number, anyone can tell me a quick recap? Natural number. So what number does it start from? You can key in into the chat function. Natural number starts from 0, starts from 1, starts from 2, or start with a negative number. Why is that? Can everyone try to respond in the group chat or in the chat function in the Oh, I saw Jervin's comment on the bed. You cannot be just attending the session on the bed, Jervin. Okay, you need to take down notes and understand this also. Okay, thanks for the response. Good. starts from one natural number. Not long time ago, people cavemen start counting when there's something there. Okay, natural number long time ago. So there's one cow, two cow, one horse, two horses. Okay, so now we are natural number less than 12. So the universal set, the first thing is we need to write down universal set will be anything from 1, 2, all the way to less than 12, which is 11. Okay, so this is our universal set. Okay, so second thing. So now we are given with set A. It's mentioned that it's an even number. So read carefully. Math is about being careful also. A lot of people, we understand, but sometimes make careless mistake because we didn't read properly. So even number, so it's of course 2, 4, 6, 8, and so on and so forth. So because there's an inequality over there, we need to solve the inequality. So the inequality is x squared minus 12 more than 0. So it's x squared. If we bring a 12 minus 12 across, it will be x squared, okay, more than 12. Okay, and the next part will be we need to square root. So x will be square root plus minus 12, and x will be more than, if we square root 12, that will give us 3.464. Okay, so anything that's more than 3.464. So therefore, the answer will be any 4 onwards. 4, 5, 6, all the way to 11. Okay, and B. Okay, B is x is not a factor of 18. Okay, so this is quite interesting. Usually they tell us that x is a factor of something, but in this case, it's not a factor of 18. So let's break it down. 18, the factor of 18 is 1, 2, can be divided by 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3 times 6 is 18, 2 times 9 is 18, and 1 times 18 is 18. Okay, so these are the factors of 18. 1, 2, 3, 6, and 9, and 18. So they mentioned that x is not a factor of 18, therefore any number other than these few numbers, so it's starting from 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, all the way to 18. That's right, all the way to 17. Okay, so that would be this. Okay, so B itself. So we have answered part 1 answer already, A part 1, A part 2. Okay, part 3 now. We are supposed to find A intersect B whole thing complement. Okay, so how do we solve that? A intersect B complement. So first thing is we can try to find what is A intersect B first. Okay, so the working will be A intersect B equals to, we try to find a common number. So there's 4, 5, 6, all the way to 11. So 4, maybe I'll use another color. So 4 in common, 5 in common, 7, there's a 7, we have an 8, we have a 10, we have an 11. So 8, 10, and 11. All this will be the common number, 8, 10, and 11. Okay, so now we have found A intersect B. So now we want to find A intersect B complement. Complement means anything that's outside of this. So what do you mean by outside? So we compare with the universal set. Oops, sorry, there's some error. Because okay, I make a mistake. I don't know whether anyone spotted that. No one commented anything. So this is a mistake that some of you made also. If you look at the universal set, the number is from 1 to 11. Am I right? So in this case for B, anything from 1, anything more than 11, this should not be included. Okay, so I repeat myself again. So anything more than 11, we should not be including them inside. Okay. So always must refer back to the universal set. Universal set is the set of numbers that have all the numbers within that question. Anything more than that, we cannot include, or we don't really include them there anymore. All right. Okay. So with that, so now we can find what is A intercept B complements. So we compare. So now basically the numbers will be 1. Maybe I change back the color. 1, 2, 3. So we cannot have 4, we cannot have 5. Okay, there's a 6. We cannot have 7, we cannot have 8. We have 9, 10, and 11. Okay, so this should be the answer. Okay, hello. Uh, can you hear me? Um, okay. Okay. Can I do a quick check? Can you all hear me still, right? I can't. Give me a second. Okay. Right. Okay. 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 Right. Please let me know if, let's say, there's any error that you found that at my working, there's any mistake. So please let me know. Okay. So this will be 7A part 3. Okay. Now we're going to go to question B. So, wait. This one. Okay. 7B. 7B, we are supposed to find n bracket a u b complement bracket. Okay, so this n once again means the number of. Okay, so before even we can find the number of, we have to find what are the elements inside that particular set over here. So first thing is we have to find. Okay, that's not. I don't think we have enough a lot of space over here. Let me just change. Expand this. Okay, so first thing before we can find this, first of all, we need to find what's B complement. So B complement by comparing B. Okay, just now B is equals to 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, 11. Okay, so now B complement is anything that's outside B. So therefore we need to include those other numbers. So it's 1, 2, 3, 6, 9. Okay, that's all. So this is B complement. Okay, so now we are supposed to combine union with A, which is the numbers above 4 to 11. 4, 5, all the way to 11. So when we combine them, so the answer will be A union B complement will be equals to, so we combine this and this number. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way to 11. Basically, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way to 11. Basically, it's everything. So the number of A union B complement will be equals to 11 numbers. Is that okay? Okay, so this is a breaking down of the steps that you need to do, okay, when you are doing this itself. Okay, so now I'm going to overlap this with another sticky note. So I change the color. Let's see. Expand this. Okay. Change the color. Okay, I will just put this up over here. Okay, please refer to your own question because you might not be able to see the question here. I'm just going to go through the question. Okay, so that you can see my working itself. Okay, 7C. We are supposed to draw the Venn diagram. Okay, so we are supposed to label. So just this is the question that is in the quiz, right? We have that, and some of you forget to do.
Mr. Chai,
Hi.
your set A got 5 and 11, when like your
Okay.
set A only has like even number.
Okay, sorry. Let me do a quick check. Okay, so you're referring to 7B, right? Okay. Thank you. Okay, I totally missed out the even number itself. Thank you for highlighting. So that's why I am seeing that some. Okay, who is that there actually? Raise out in Jocelyn. Okay, so thanks for pointing out whoever has pointed out just now. Okay, so A, if you look at the question again, okay, in fact, A, the condition is even number. So just now I highlighted this, but when I'm doing this, okay, I did not take that into consideration. So therefore, there's a mistake over here. Okay, so it's mentioned. So what the A should not be 4 to 11. So this question, can I just highlight that this is wrong? Okay, so A should be the even number of 4 to 11. So it's 4, 6, 8, and 10. Thank you so much for highlighting. So this one is the correct answer. And I will highlight this over here. Okay, and for part B, B is the answer for part B, this part 1. Part 2, B answer is just 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, and 11. Okay, so this is the answer for part 2. And part 3, okay, so we are supposed to find the common intersection between the two. So A intersect B. Okay, sorry, I have to redo this part itself. Okay, so A intersect B now equals to, so we compare again 4, then we have 8, we have 10. Okay, so these are the three numbers 1, 4, 8, and 10. Okay, so then we want to find A intersect B complement is anything that's outside these three numbers. So if we compare will be, so all the numbers 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 11. Okay, so once again, thanks for pointing out. Okay, so this one will be wrong. So let's cancel this out. Okay. Okay, my bad on this. Okay, thanks for pointing out once again. And this part, I will redo this before I go to 7C. Okay, 7B, I'm going to redo that. So A union B complement. So we have B complement over here. So now we just need to combine with the new A. Okay, so A now is 4, 6, and 8, and 10. Okay, then after which B complement is 1, 2, 3, 6, and 9. Okay, so we combine A union B equals to number of this. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 9, and 10. So the number will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, is this correct? Anyone have a different answer from mine? Okay. Okay, so in that case, yeah, so this will be 7B. Okay, so now we're going to go to 7C. Okay, illustrate in set A and B in the Venn diagram. Okay, so as mentioned, first of all, we need to draw a rectangle. Then after which we're going to need to label the universal set. Okay, we have to decide whether we draw this kind of diagram or we're going to draw this kind of diagram or we're going to draw a two disjoint set. So there are three possibilities of three different way of drawing. So we have to decide by checking the elements. So which scenario is that? Scenario 1, Which is the first one? Scenario 2 or scenario 3? Can someone just or reply in the group chat? Okay, I just saw a message. I thought Sally didn't have 5 and 11 because even number. Oh, okay. Jocelyn, that's what I didn't see the message. Okay, which scenario? Okay, this is scenario 1, scenario 2, or scenario 3. Which one should it be? Okay, we have to check how do we check itself? We have to compare A and B. So A, we have this is the set A, 4, 6, 8, 10. B is, just now we found out it is 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, and 11. So by comparing the two, we can see that there's something in common between the two sets. Okay, so therefore we are going to use scenario 1. Okay, Asmia and Jocelyn, thank you for replying. Okay, for the rest who didn't try, okay, I hope that you understand why we choose the scenario number 1. Okay, once we got there, okay, the next thing is we need to fill up all the numbers itself. Okay, so first thing is we need to find a common number. So if you do a comparison, 4 is common, 8 is common, and 10 is common. So these 3 numbers, we are supposed to put them inside over here. 4, 8, and 10. Okay, the next thing that we need to put is to put down the individual numbers that they have. So therefore, it's 6 over here. We have a 5, we have a 7, we have an 11. Okay, at this point of time, I want to highlight the common mistake that people have. Some of you still put a comma inside, so please do not put any comma within this Venn diagram. Okay, just put in the numbers with some spacing between. Other than that, the next thing you need to do is you need to list down all other numbers outside the 2 circle. So the missing number is 1. We have 2. We have 3. Then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have a missing 9, 10, and 11. So you can see that the universal set is 1, 2, all the way to number 11. Okay, so make sure that you have all the numbers inside this Venn diagram. So once you got that, you will get 2 marks for this Venn diagram. Okay, so next one. Okay, we're going to go to part D. Okay, part D, we are supposed to shade the region on the Venn diagram. So assuming we just not to confuse and make it too messy. So I'm going to redraw just A and B like this. So how we draw this A complement union B. So I'm going to use the two direction. A complement is basically anything that's outside A. So how do I make sure it's outside A? I circle A first. And I just shade anything that's outside the A. Okay. Then after that, we are supposed to shade the B. So where's B? B is anything that's inside the circle. So I shade. Okay, and since it's A complement union B, union means combine. So the final answer will be just this answer. Okay, so it's basically the 2 different direction line you will just present as the answer. Okay, later I'll share with you there are some common mistakes that you all make during the quiz itself. Okay, so this is for question number 7. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, I find that over online, I need to go a bit slower because all the technology and stuff. Okay, so but let me know if it's too slow or whatnot. Let me so that I try to speed up on my side. Okay, so now I'm going to go through question number 8. Okay, so question number 8. So we are supposed to shade again. So question number 8 shading over here. Now the Venn diagram is C and D. Okay, C intersect D quoting complement. Okay, so how do we do this? So C intersect D is actually this area over here. Okay, so when we have C intersect D, whole thing complement, so all we need to do is anything that's outside the area, so basically outside over here, outside this area. So I circle this part and I shade everything that's outside this part. And I will have to erase whatever that's inside over there. Okay, so then I will draw that. Okay, so basically shade everything except this portion that's inside in the middle. Okay, and that will be the answer. Okay, so that will be 8A. Right? Okay, so moving on. Okay, I'm going to change this to white color. Okay, I'm going to move on to question number 8B. Okay, question 8B. There's there are two set A and B. Okay, and there's a question given there as well. So let's list down. So universal set is all the students that is in K16 class. Okay, A is the one that's overweight. Okay, and the B will be the one who's short-sighted. Okay, this is a slightly harder question now, so you have to take note of that. Okay, this is universal set is all students in the class. Okay, we just list down first. Okay, in this short form. So there are a total of 20 students. Okay, in the class, there are 8 students who are overweight, and there are 5 students who are short-sighted. Okay, so take note for this particular question, I want to put a star. Okay, so this particular question, there we can have once again three different scenarios. So scenario 1 is there are some repeated people who are both overweight and short-sighted. Of course, scenario B is when whoever is overweight is also short-sighted. And third scenario we have is they are disjoint set. Whoever is overweight is definitely not short-sighted. Okay, so we have 3 scenarios. Okay, so we are using, for this particular question, we have to use these 3 scenarios to find the biggest and the smallest possible number itself. Okay, so if you recall, there's one of the lesson that I went through the common intersect. We always use the x, let x be the number we have. If let's say scenario 1, we let x be the number of students who is both overweight and short-sighted. Okay, so this is a middle scenario. So in that case, if let's say this is a scenario, the number of students who are purely just overweight, I'll use green color, so it'll be 8 minus x. So this is what those who just purely overweight. And over here on the right side, okay, it will be 5 minus x. These are the students who are purely short-sighted. And x is the one that is both overweight and short-sighted. Okay, so this is scenario 1. Okay, scenario B is let's say out of the 5 short-sighted, all the 5 are also overweight. Okay, so that means to say that there are 3 students who are overweight itself. There are 5 students who are both overweight and short-sighted. So total add up together is 8. Okay, and this scenario is purely both are not combined, or rather both are separated totally. So 8 is purely overweight and 5 is purely short-sighted. Okay, so there were 2 separate scenarios. Okay, so let's take a look at the question. The question part 1, we are asking for the smallest possible number for students who are overweight and short-sighted. Both overweight and short-sighted. Okay, so how do we find that the smallest possible? So basically, smallest possible, you can see that is scenario 1, 2, or 3. Anyone can make a guess before I share the answer. Smallest possible scenario where the smallest number are both overweight and short-sighted. Can reply on the chat group function. Okay, I need to. Okay. Jesslyn is has replied. Anyone have a different answer? If you're not sure, you can type not sure as well. Honey, do you want to try? Or Roshan, would you like to try and type in as well? I'm waiting a bit. Okay, I want to just make sure that everyone is still with me and not off the video and off doing something else already. Thank you. Scenario 3. Okay, not sure. Thank you. Okay, no problem. Okay, so we can compare the three of them. So if I were to use this to highlight, I use a blue highlighter. So scenario 1, the one that is both overweight and short-sighted is actually over here. Okay, so both overweight and short-sighted is the one in the middle that's overlapping. Okay, so there's some number there. So over here, both short-sighted and overweight is over here, which is maximum of 5. So both. This is both scenario, the common. So in the third case, there's no overlapping at all. Okay, so both in fact will be 0. So if you compare the three, okay, scenario 1 is in the middle. Scenario 2 is the maximum number. Scenario 3 is the minimum number. So the smallest possible for this particular case is 0. We can have 0 students who have both overweight and short-sighted. Okay, we must also consider the total number of students, because if you look at this, there are a total of 20 students. So 8 and 5, these two numbers didn't exceed the 20. So definitely we can safely say that, oh, this 8 and 5, there's a chance that they are totally separate. And because these two add together is only 13. And there are 13 of them, and maybe there are still 7 of them, they are both not overweight or short-sighted. So this scenario is still okay. I want to present to you, especially those who are still not very lost now and are following quite closely. Okay, I want to show that if let's say there's another scenario where, okay, where the number, assuming that there's a number, they tell us that the number of students who are overweight is 11. And number of students who are short-sighted is 10, or rather 15. So in this case, these two numbers add up is definitely more than 20. So we must be very sure that, okay, there must be someone that is overlapping. Okay, there must be someone there. So can let this be x. So we have to use x minus 11 and 15 minus 11. Sorry, x minus x, 11 minus x and 15 minus x. Okay, so this is the scenario where the numbers, these two numbers, 15 and 11, is more than this 20. So therefore, definitely there must be someone that's overlapping. Okay, so these two numbers add up. If more than 20, then that means there's someone that's overlapping. Okay, I hope that you are following this. For those, especially you can understand already, but for those who are very lost on this, don't worry. Okay, you just focus on understanding the previous part first. Okay, so now going back to this question. Okay, we have answered the first question. So now we're going to go to part 2. State the greatest possible number of students who are overweight and short-sighted. So as mentioned, the biggest possible number for both overweight and short-sighted. Okay, as mentioned just now, this is the scenario. And just now, this part, the scenario will be over here. Okay, so because we are supposed to illustrate the set on the Venn diagram, so the biggest number is 5. And just now was 0. Okay. Okay, so recap for this particular question. This is a harder question, especially those who are aiming for, like definitely if you are going for A for your O-level result, these are some questions. If they come out, then you need to really know and understand that. Okay, so the first thing is you need to know that we need to break down the 3 different scenarios. Okay, so this listed down here. Scenario 1, which let me highlight scenario 1 over here, scenario 2, and scenario 3. So there's overlapping. There's our second scenario is totally a proper subset. And third scenario is when we have a disjoint set. Okay. So the smallest in this particular case is when it's totally a proper subset. And when it's the biggest possible is when we have, oh sorry, the smallest possible is when we have a disjoint set. That means 2 separate ones. Okay. Then after which, when there's biggest possible, we're going to use the proper subset. Okay, so that will be for question number 8B. Right. Okay, due to the time constraint, we're going to move on. So if you're not too sure still, you can come back and revisit the video, this video, and try to understand from there. If not, you can text me separately. Okay, I'll try to explain from there. Right. Okay, so next question. Okay. Next question, number 9. Okay, we're going to go through that. Question number 9. So it's mixing with another topic itself, which is the line of equation. So you need to be familiar with this topic itself. So A is mentioned that it's a line, lying on the line y equals to x plus 2. Okay, so what do we mean by that? So if we look at the line, so we can draw any coordinates over there. So usually when we plot a line, if you recall, so we plot 3 points where x equals to maybe 0, 1, and 2. So we try to sub in and find out. So when x is 0, y will be 2. When x is 1, y will be 3. When y is 2, when x is 2, y will be equals to 4 for this particular case. Okay, so of course the coordinates can go on and on. Anything on the line coordinate will be under the set A itself. So for B, it's mentioned that the point lying on the line 3x plus y equals to 4. So if we do simplification, I will push this across and it becomes y equals to 4 minus 3x. So if we draw some simple number, not too many. Okay, so x, y, we just find some coordinates over here. So 0, when x is 0, y equals to 4. When x is 1, we sub in y equals to 1. When x is 2, becomes minus 2. When x is 3, 4 minus 9 will be minus 5. Okay, so these are some of the numbers over here. So now we are supposed to answer the question. So part A, we are supposed to find, is 1, 3 an element of A? So this is a coordinate. So we check. So let's check. See the coordinate. So in this particular case, yes, the coordinate 1, 3 is an element of A. So the answer is yes. So one way to check, because coordinate, this is x and this is y. So another way to check is we just sub in the x, because we know the x is equals to 1. We sub x equals to 1 into this coordinate y equals to x plus 2. So when we sub inside here, so we sub this is 1 plus 2 and y equals to 3. Also, therefore, the coordinate 1, 3 is valid. is one of the element. Okay, so there are two ways of doing it. Okay, so in this case, just nice when I plot the table, this coordinate comes out straight away. So this is a definitely answer is a yes. Okay. So for part B, okay, so for part B, we are supposed to find the element of P such that P, okay, so we are supposed to find element P. So element P is a coordinate, it's a coordinate XY. Because now we know that all these elements, right, are all the points. So if you read the question, they are basically saying all the points that is on these two lines itself. So they are saying that P is an element of A intersect B. So what does this imply? So that's what they are trying to say is to find the intersection point between the two lines. So in short, if you can recall our topic for linear linear, the line equation itself. So we are supposed to find the intersection point. So you can use simultaneous equation, or rather we try to solve the simultaneous equation using elimination method or substitution method. Okay, so how we solve that? So equation one is y equals x plus 2. Equation 2 is y equals to 4 minus 3x. So I'm going to solve by doing this. So this is equation 1. Equation 2, I'm going to sub 1 into 2. I'm going to use substitution method into 2. So since both of them are y equals to this, y equals to this. So basically is x plus 2 will be equals to 4 minus 3x. Okay, let me just explain this. Okay, then after which we solve this by bringing across, bring the number across and the alphabet across, so it becomes 4x equals to 2. So x will be equals to 2 divided by 4, which is equal to half. Answer. Okay, so anyone have any questions on this portion or this part? Okay. Okay. So this part good. We're going to move on to the next part. This is part B. Okay, so we're going to do 9C. Okay, so for 9C, we are supposed to they mentioned that 2, Q is part of element of 2, Q is an element of B. Okay, so we are supposed to find the value of Q. So what they are trying to tell us that this is X, this is Y, and this coordinate is in the line where Y equals to 4 minus 3X. This 2XY is inside here. So all we need to do over here is since we know the X value, okay, which is 2, all we need to do is sub 2, or rather sub X equals to 2, sub X equals to 2 into the equation. So therefore, Y will be equals to 4 minus 3 times 2. Y will be equals to minus 2 itself. So therefore, Q will be equals to minus 2. Answer. Okay. Okay, so that will be for part C. Okay, and for part D, the last question Okay, for this portion, this worksheet itself, let me just bring this up. Okay, so for part D, 9D, so we have a new set, which is C itself, where the set C will be 2y minus 2x equals to 8. So the equation is this. What we are supposed to do, we have to explain clearly why A intersect B equals to a null set. A intersect C equals to a null set. So what they are trying to imply is, if you draw on the graph, what they are trying to say is line A is probably this, let's say, and line C is over here, and they do not intersect. And the only scenario that they do not intersect is when the two lines, they are parallel to one another. If not, if they are not parallel to one another, they always will eventually intersect, no matter what line they are. Okay, so the only chance that they don't intersect, so they are trying to imply when this over here, they are trying to imply A intersect C is a null set, means they don't intersect at all. So the scenario will be as such, where two lines, they are parallel to one another. So what's the condition of the two lines being parallel to one another? Is basically when their gradient are the same. Let's say example, the gradient is 2 over here, and this gradient equals to 2. So when both lines, the gradient are the same, okay, they have the same gradient. So when you have the same gradient, okay, when you have the same gradient and they don't have the same y-intercept, they will never touch one another. They will be always separated. Okay, so then we have to show and explain why it's a null set. So what we need to do is we have to find the gradient of the line. So 2y, I will manipulate a bit. So I will bring across the 2x. So it becomes 2x. Then I divide by 2. So this is the equation for C. Okay, so and we compare with A. The equation of A is y equals to x plus 2. So these two lines are the gradient the same. Okay, so if you look carefully, how do we find the gradient? So the gradient is y equals to mx plus c. And this m stands for the gradient. So if you recall, and if you look at the gradient of this both lines, there's basically an invisible one. It's just x, 1x. So basically, in short, these two lines have the same gradient. Okay, so when we explain, basically what I'm saying is both lines have the same gradient of 1. And therefore, hence, A intersect C will be equal to null, as they will never intersect one another. Okay, because of this reason, as mentioned. All right. Okay, so that's for these 3 questions. We took a while. Okay, but I think we need to still move on because I want to go through the remaining questions which are important as well. Okay. So now we're going to move on. Anyone have any particular question for this part? As mentioned, these 3 questions are the harder ones. So I don't want you all to just only cover the basic, but also expose you all to the difficult question. So it's normal to feel a bit lost and a bit unsure. So you can go back and revisit this video and check it out and one more time and try to understand. If still cannot understand through the video, okay, you can text me privately or you can look for me when we are in school tomorrow, so I can explain a bit more. Okay, so for now we're going to move on. So prepare the next worksheet. Okay, we're going to move on to this part. Okay, where we're going to go through a bit, but I'm going to jump the sequence a bit. I want to go through some of the careless mistake, or rather the quiz question that we have done previously. Okay, so let me just bring across. Okay, I have scanned some of the work over here. okay, for all the quiz answers itself. So let me just take a look at the text. Okay, like this. Okay, so for this, a lot of you may have this mistake of not giving the final answer correctly for first question, G. Okay, so if you refer to the question, we are supposed to find, okay, the question over here is, we are supposed to find A unit intersect B, sorry, A complement intersect B. Okay, so the final answer, it should be just this, the one that with two lines over here. But if you leave your answer as this over here, the marker will mark as wrong. You're supposed to erase all the other, all this outside, all this in blue, highlighted in blue, you are supposed to erase them. Okay, so please remember that. Okay, this is a very common mistake for the class. Okay, because I think many forget about this. So another thing that you need to take note of is you need to put in the universal set. Okay, whenever we do this, if the diagram is provided for you, it's good. If not, when you draw on your own, please make sure you write down the universal set. Okay, I'll just want to erase. Okay. Okay, so next question, another example over here. Okay, this one is mentioned over here. So question number 26. Okay. Okay, what we're supposed to do over here is there are some things that you need to take note of. The comma, just now I mentioned during the lesson, we are not supposed to include the comma. And there are some of you have repeated numbers over here. 13 in Q, but there's a 13 outside there. So always cross-check one more time, count from the, how can you do it is, make sure you count. Let's say 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So the repeated one we cancelled out. Okay, we check one by one to make sure that all numbers are inside. So any repeated numbers we erase off. Okay, so that's one way you can check. All right. Okay, so this is the first example. So I'm going to shift and bring it to the side first. Okay, next question, next one, we'll bring it. Same thing, as you can see that over here, we need to erase. Many of you left this as answer. So for second part question K, you can see that for this particular question, you don't need to erase because it's union, A union B. So union, you can leave both lines there. So it's okay. But for intersect, you must only give your final answer as this part. You have to erase off the rest. Okay, so have to take note. And second part over here also, okay, when we write down we label this set alphabet, please write it nearby, because if not, they will think that that would be one of the elements. Okay, so you need to include all the elements inside here as well. So this is incomplete. And by the way, this question, we too used to use set A and B. So in fact, this set is Q, P and Q. So it's not A and B, but it should be P and Q. So small things like this, right, will affect the marks itself. Okay, so very importantly, please take note of that. Okay, so moving on. Okay, okay, next one. Okay, over here. Okay, there's a mistake over here. So for those who are still not too clear how to do that, I'll just run through a quick one to indicate how to do such question. One more time. This is A, this is B. So if we want to find A complement intersect B, we have to shade A complement first. Okay, so how do you shade A complement? So one way you can do is you circle A first and make sure you shade anything that's outside of that circle. This is first line. Then after that, we shade B using another direction. So B, I circle B and I shade. When we want to find the intersect, we find the one with the cross line, two lines itself. So the final answer that we should be giving will be the one that are highlighted in, probably in red. I'll use red color. So this is the one that should be our final answer. Okay. Right, so that will be that. So for those who are still not too sure, please take note of that. Another common mistake, if you see looking at the example from here. Okay, this is a mistake that I made just now as well. So look at this, the universal set starts from which number? If you look at that, the inequality given is 3. This must be more than 3 and less than or equals to 13. So the universal set actually starts from 4 all the way to 13. Okay, so if you include any other numbers, there's less than 4, then that will be wrong. So there's 2 that's cancelled out, 2 and 3 should be cancelled out as well. So for this particular student, you also forgot to include those other numbers that's outside. Okay, so you need to take note of that as well. Okay, next one. Okay, so this particular student, okay, you need to take note when we shade, we don't shade like a art student. Okay, this is something that I mentioned in the lesson, online lesson. Okay, you shade using just this line. Okay, and this particular line is actually, this is actually correct, but you need to shade in this manner. Okay, this one, okay, too messy. Can't even see what's going on over here. Okay, so and this is another example over here where we have repeated numbers. So because this is really just careless. Okay, if we are careful enough, you can secure the marks, but because of this careless mistake, then marks will be gone and deducted. And for this particular question, they are asking for the intersect. List down the elements. There's no n. You should not include n. N is actually the number of. Okay, so let's learn from one another's mistake. Okay, moving on. Over here. Okay, same mistake. So the shading is wrong here. This is student that didn't give any names. Okay, so another common mistake mentioned. There's no 2 inside the universal set, so you should not include the 2. Should not include the 2. Should not include the comma. Okay, so some of you are still and should include the universal set. Okay, and this is next. Over here. Okay, so this is another mistake over here where the universal set is from 4 to 13, but we include the 1 and 2, which is not correct. 2 and 3, not correct. And the universal set is until 13, so you don't need to put the dot 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 over here. Okay, so all this part are all wrong. In fact, the concept is correct, but because of this mistake, everything will be wrong. Okay, and the drawing over here, these 2 shadings are wrong as well. Okay, so refer to the previous working to see how we can do that. Union means you combine everything. Okay, intersect, then we identify the one that is in the middle, or rather with 2 lines itself. Okay, if you're still not sure how to do this, you can find me separately. I will not do it over here. Okay, so as usual, we have to erase off the line. And the same mistake again. Universal set universal symbol is missing, and other numbers are missing also. Okay, and this particular student, this is 3 bigger than 3. There's no equal sign, so we don't include the 3. Okay, so we don't include 1 and 2. We don't include 2, and we don't include the 3 as well. Okay, so this is this. Okay, next one. Okay, so okay, this particular question mentioned that this particular students mentioned that they forgot what's integer and prime number. So I'm explaining over here. So what's prime number and what's integer? Okay, So just take note of that. Okay, I'm going to push it to one side. And next one. Okay, please use pencil. Okay, for all your drawing. Okay, so you should not be using pen so that we can erase off. And mention a lot of you miss out the universal set, so I'm going to not spend too much time on that. Okay, this question must erase off, and this one. P and Q supposed to be nearer, and there are some elements that is actually missing. So if you look at this, right, P intersect Q is in the middle. This is P intersect Q. So complement means anything that's outside. If I were to highlight using this one, anything that's outside of that would be anything here. Anywhere in the blue color is supposed to be your answer. Okay, so this should be all your answer, all the elements. So in short, it's basically all elements except 5. Okay, that should be the answer for this part. Okay, right. Okay, so hoping I'm finishing this portion. Okay, last student. Okay, similar stuff. Okay, the universal set don't write an E as an E. The symbol is it's a cursive kind of E, which is represent universal set. Okay. Okay, so the rest of the mistakes are similar. Okay, so now after going through this, I find that it's very important. So we're now going to go back to try the questions over here. Okay, the shading part. Okay, I think we left with just a few more minutes. Okay, so I'm going to give you the time to do this. I need you all to submit the homework tomorrow because I need to really check through your work. Okay, so I think I will stop over here. I'm not going to go through the last part. So do those questions that's mentioned as the homework. Question 24, which is over here. Everything on the shading, 24. I'm going to collect this worksheet back. Question 24. Then after which, this 26, question number 26 over here is the quiz. So I want you all to redo that. Okay, redo this question as a correction. Okay, so do this again. Question 27, 28. And of course, I mentioned question 31. Okay, please do this. Of course, you can see that the answer and solutions are behind. So try not to look at the solution. Okay, if you really want to look at the solution and check your working, you can do it and do the correction. If you do wrongly, do the correction, mark as wrong and do the correction so that I can see whether you do it yourself correctly or is it that you refer to the answer. Okay, Ken, so I will get the homework from you all tomorrow. Okay, any questions so far? Maybe you all can just check out using the chat function so I know that you are still around. So any question? Okay, yes, no, don't have. Okay, or still not too sure on certain things. Just write down a statement to actually check out. Okay, yes, no. Okay. Andy came in a bit later. So later, Andy, later you're going to refer to the video. I will upload I'll alert you all once the video is ready. Okay, I think one of you texted me that you have having stomach ache. I'm not too sure if that's, I don't know who's that student because I still don't have your contact number. So later in the class group chat, please help me to just write down your name so I can have an idea of whose number belongs to who. Okay, the number belongs to which one of you. All right. So two things. One is complete the homework. Second will be please text me in your group chat, in the math group chat. Okay, who are you? Okay, so that I can tag the name to the number. Right. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Okay. If there's no questions, I will see you tomorrow in school. We have a 1.5 hours. I hope to start the next topic which is congruency and similarity, right? Okay, so with that, if you have any more questions, you text me in the group chat. If not, I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, goodbye.